Welcome to Weekly Gab with ShareBear. Today we're going to be talking about all kinds of different subjects, from facts of the week, some shout outs of some podcasts I have. We'll talk a little bit about the wedding vendor because we still got to talk about some wedding stuff in there once in a while, right? And Easter's our next holiday, so let's get into that a little bit today. Right? Let's get started. So, first of all, um, we're in a different place again. I'm in my kitchen, um, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I like it. The only thing is right now is I'm trying to finish a cigarette before um, I really talk, because I'm allowed to smoke here in the M&M room. I'm not allowed to. Well, it's not that I don't allow to. I choose to not smoke in that room. It's the only room right now that is not got any smoking. I would prefer to have not smoked in the Care Bear room or anything either, but um, that ended up changing. So unfortunately, all my Care Bears and Winnie the Pooh stuff are all covered in smoke, I guess you could say. But um, so, but let me know if you like to be in different rooms or if you rather just keep it in the M&M room. I know I do some on location stuff, so there's that, but that's a different story. So while we get that, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this out because I don't like to talk to you guys and smoke anyway. That's why I didn't mind not smoking in the M&M room because it stops me from wanting a cigarette anyway. Um, I wanted to talk about maybe I want you guys more involved in talking with me. So I want to kind of do um, an interact thing, and I'm not talking about just a live show because eventually I would like to get to that point where we can do a live show and do a real Q&A type thing. But I'm need some ideas of maybe just like a question that I can come up with, or some ideas that are specifically for that week, and then you guys can answer them in the comments, and then we can kind of go over them next week that I do it. I haven't quite put that all together yet, but that's kind of what I was kind of thinking about doing. So we'll see if that gets more, because I want you guys, maybe that will bring a little bit more people into if we get everybody involved instead of just sitting here listening to me talk. Um, I was going to mention some facts that I have found. Today is National Cheesecake Day and National Cocktail Day, or not cheesecake. Did I say cheesecake? Cheese Steak Day. There we go. So, and Cocktail Day. So maybe go out and have a cheesesteak sandwich with a some kind of cocktail. I don't know. Celebrate those two wonderful things that we have out there, I guess, that people enjoy. Um, and then I wanted to also talk about some. I don't. I'm sure a lot of people, and I probably mentioned it quite a few times, that I listen to a lot of probably podcast. Um, and I have ones that I've listened to for quite a while now. Um, so I thought about just bringing some of those up. I'm really into true crime. That's probably my favorite area. So I listen to quite a few probably of those, or some YouTubes. But and none of these guys are sponsors or anything like that. So, but um, I really like them. So I just kind of wanted to give a little shout out to them, and maybe further down the line they'll maybe sponsor me or something, or we could talk to them or have them on, because there's some of these I would really. Um, but one of them I listen to is True Crime Garage, and I really like. These are two gentlemen that talk about all kinds of different cases. of just, that have either been solved or haven't been solved. And their big, I guess, tag is that they're just two guys in a garage drinking beer. So, you hear about, so if you're kind of into the beer thing, which I don't pay attention to what beer they're drinking or what kind or anything like that, but they might have some cool different kinds of beers you could try if you're into that. So, but I really like the way they go across it. I like the way they go into detail about a lot of the crimes. Sometimes they'll bring up you know news reports on it and let you listen to those, or you know they'll talk about a video or um, the you know security camera footage that they had gotten in there, and they'll talk about those into detail for you. Um, and then of course have some opinions, about it and stuff like that. And then, like I said, some of them are unsolved, so they'll sit there and maybe ask, if you know anything, all that stuff, like most people do. Um, so they're really kind of a lightweight, I guess you could say, of talking about true crime. So it's not too heavy. Um, the other one I listen to, which is more of a, I guess compared to the True Crime Garage, they're more of a darker side, um, a more serious, in-depth kind of thing, and they're called Morbid. They're two ladies that talk about true crime. Also, they start out a lot of their podcast on some famous serial killers, and that's how I really got into them. It's because I started listening to some of their earlier ones that had TV are why can't I think of any right now? The Green River Killer. Um, why can't I think of any of our serial killers? They do go into Jack the Ripper. Um, gosh, just you know all of them, and then they also once in a while later on in their podcast they start doing some um, discussing some like locations, like some of the well known or famous haunted highways, or some haunted houses, or supernatural things, or I mean they'll go into some of that stuff too and talk about some of that. So a little bit of a change from just the true crime, just like some of the history of things like that out there. So if you're into those two crime, those are my two favorite anyway. I do still have like three or four other ones, but those two are my favorite. Um, and then if you want just something fun and relaxing and just to enjoy, um, another one I listen to a lot, which is called Distractible. And basically I use it as a distractible, it's distraction. um, they're just three guys that sit there and randomly talk about things, and maybe play some games, of trivia, or, you know, um, kind of things. I don't know. They're just fun to listen to sometimes, and they can be wacko sometimes, and everything. So, and they actually also have a YouTube, so you can watch them also, or not YouTube, but they play on Spotify, and so it comes out as viewing also. So sometimes it's fun to watch them also. And all three of the guys also have their own little platforms that they do. So sometimes I'll sit there and check out some of their stuff on their own um, stuff too. So just a few things that I just thought, you know, I'd share with you guys. Like I said, I really like them. I listen to podcasts a lot. Not as much as I used to, because the jobs that I used to have, I was able to listen to them pretty much at work at all time and not get distracted. Now I listen to them a little bit at work, but there's more communication, being there's three of us in one spot, and we talk a little bit more. Um, we're trying to prepare more. And then, of course, when the kids are around, to serve lunch and all that stuff, then I can't listen to it either because there's too much noise. Plus, I'm usually talking to the kids about something or asking them questions. So, I can't listen to them as much. I try to listen to them in the vehicle a little bit, between my commute. And then I try to remind myself, hey, you're not doing anything. Or if I'm playing games at home, most of my games are just background music type thing. I don't have to listen to them talk. There's no real dialogue in them, so I can listen to it while I'm playing games or definitely while I'm cleaning the house. So there's just a few things for you to discuss or whatever. Um, as far as the wedding goes, I just feel I don't know. I don't know if I just want it to expect. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I don't know if I'm expecting everything to just go boom, 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 or if it should be, or if it's okay to take some time. But I feel like I don't have anything done and or figure out anything, and I don't have time to do it. I don't know, maybe this summer when I have more time off work, I can um, look into more stuff. And then I'm afraid to contact certain people because it's so far away. Then where do I like begin with that, of like the DJs and all that? I mean, do I start contacting them and just do, like a price thing, or what kind of people, what I mean, like a not a review, but you know what I mean, on all this stuff first, and then contact them when it's closer to actually set up, or I mean, I don't know, because I feel like I have to go in like order. So like I feel like we have to find a vendor and where we're gonna have the reception and all that before I can sit there and talk to any of the, and then like have the DJ and the decorations or whatever figured out next. And then, as um, some of you done this before, something like that, maybe give me some ideas if this is okay the way I'm doing it. Should I be like doing something and not just thinking about what I want? Should I be actually moving forward now and start really doing this stuff? Or if it's, you know, I don't know. But, um, I mean, we have one vendor that we're really wanting, or at least I'm wanting, but I haven't contacted them yet to see if it's possible for us to have the wedding there and all that stuff. And I don't know if I should. I don't even know if they're open because it's a park yet, or how that goes. But that is really what I'm like trying to get myself to do right now, is to do this. But I keep thinking I have to wait a little bit. That is too early. So I don't know for sure. So just maybe let me know. Maybe I'm like way behind if this wedding is next year. Maybe I'm like gonna be pushing it. I have no idea. So you guys definitely have to let me know about that stuff. Because at this point, the only thing, and I still haven't even talked to anybody about making the cake or find out where I can get this cake made, that I have the picture that I showed you guys last time, or how exactly. See, I wanted to see if maybe somebody local can make my dress or the girls' dresses instead of actually getting it from Hawaii, because it might be cheaper and it may not be. It may actually be better. And I have relatives in Hawaii, so maybe the shipping and stuff would cost less if I have them pick it up and then ship it to me. I don't know. But I have to find those things out, and I don't know where to begin. My goodness. So, yeah, I'm like not struggling because there's so much I have to do still, and to think about here that's right in front of me, that I feel like that gets put onto the back burner. But I'm worried I'm going to have it on that back burner too long, and it's, going to burn away. It's going to vibrate, um, you know, so kind of thing, you know, and it's going to be too late to actually prepare, if I want to keep going into more um, what was the word I was looking for? I don't know. Anyway, either way, so I don't know, or if I should be like working on this on the front, up front along with the other stuff, and doing it side by side instead of putting one back here and one up here, what I mean? So yeah, so I just don't know, but I know when it gets closer, you guys, I promise it's going to be so cool having you with me on this journey. I just have to get my butt into gear, and I apologize. I'm not a procrastinator. I just don't know what to do. And then when it comes to that, it's like I kind of stress out, and then I like forgive it so I don't get stressed out, and then I let it go, and it's like, yeah. And then I get mad at myself for like, well, you haven't done anything. You know what I mean? So, um, but it'll be cool. I promise. Um, Maybe even give us some ideas about a wedding venue, um, especially if you're local. Um, then maybe let us know if there's some good venues here in mainly on. Are we on the? I don't know what corner we're on of Wyoming, but over here and somewhere, I don't know. I kind of wanted to drive after the ceremony for a while. So where we were thinking about National Bridge, the closest that, because it's right outside of Douglas, Wyoming. So we thought about at least having the wedding there and then driving to at least Douglas. I would like to actually go all the way from Douglas to Nebraska, Scotts Bluff. So we have to like compromise. I haven't looked to see where we could have the reception or anything like that. But I definitely don't want my wedding ceremony in the same place as my reception. I don't want to go from like the ceremony here outside and then you go into this building and there's your reception. I really rather drive a little bit. I don't know why. Just something that I think would be cool to be driving, be like, oh, and I'll probably be the one that does it, but maybe even have a decorated car, says just married, and stuff like that, kind of show off. Um, that may be a little bit childish or something, but that's what I'm hoping for. So there's still a lot to look for, and maybe I don't know. I mean, summer vacation's coming around the corner for me, so hopefully I can definitely get more done because then I can actually start in the morning and sit there and maybe go these places in the afternoon or whatever, and there might be a better chance to have, Russ go a couple to me with me. He's kind of, I don't know. I'm not you. I mean, for one, I don't do this. I've never done this, so I don't know. But I just thought the man would have more, and maybe I've just watched TV too much, but more opinion in it. And he's just pretty much like, it's okay, do whatever. I'm fine. I've never done this before, so whatever you want, And I'm just like, you know, I want you to be there to so you can help me make the decisions, not sit there and say, well, I was thinking about this, and then you'd be like, well, this one sounds okay, but you make the file. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I want him to really be. So I don't know. Maybe I can get him a little bit more involved. We'll see. Um, I think. Oh my gosh. That's probably. I'd say probably all about the wedding anyway. Um, that I can talk about now. I did want to bring up. We watched the movie Wild Robot this week, and I kind of wanted to talk to you about that a little bit because I am. I don't know if you watched it yet or not, and if you have, maybe let me know what you thought about it because um, I was not disappointed, but I wasn't as excited about it as I thought I would be. But I went in thinking that it was going to be kind of like a Wally, and I love Wally. Wally, Wally. Okay. Um, I can watch that movie over and over again. I want Wally at my house. I love him to death. Um, and I fell in love with him right away. And I was with him on that journey in that movie from beginning to end, and just, I don't know, just everything. And with the wild robot, I don't even know. It seemed like she had numbers for her name. I don't even remember her name or anything. That's how I didn't really get close to her. Um, I mean, it was cute. I liked it. I liked the way she, learned the language of the animals so she can communicate with the animals and stuff. Oh, sorry if it's you haven't seen it yet, and this is spoiler alerts. I don't know. But you know, and she grew to be like the family, like they were a family, part of her family or whatever. So when it was time for her to return home, she's like, thought, okay, well, this is the place I want to be. This is what I'm supposed to be like. This is, and I've been malfunctioned or whatever. I'm not here to help anybody like I was programmed to do. So I should go back. But then it's like, I really like these guys. And she even got to raise, what was it that she had? Oh, bird. Um, I don't remember what it was, what kind of bird, but it was one that flew south for the winter. I know that. But she ended up raising him and stuff as her like kind of a child and everything like that. So she didn't want to leave, and of course, then at the end she kind of doesn't leave for a minute, but then she does leave and like comes back every year, or I don't remember. See, that's how much impression it had on me. Like I said, it was a cute movie. It was a good movie, but it was no Wally. So I don't know. I don't know if I recommend it or not. I think it was a good movie, and I know a lot of people might like it. And like I said, I liked it. I'm not saying I didn't like it or that it was a terrible movie. It just wasn't. I thought I was going for to be able to have another favorite movie um, about a machine, I guess you could say, animated kind of movie as I did Wally, and cute type machine, and I didn't get that this time. So just some thoughts on it anyway. I don't know. Um, so I mentioned that I'm going to make yarn eggs for Easter, at least a couple of them. Um, I've got almost a lot of things. I don't remember how we really, I mean, I know how to do them. I was a kid, and I actually realized when I was singing these, I never had my kids do them. And I don't know why. Um, so for them not to do something that I did, and as a kid, I'm surprised I didn't. But um, I can't really picture because we did them in school. I learned how to do them in school. But I don't remember, like, if we used them like a basket type thing and put like candies and stuff in them, or if they were just a decoration and that's all we did. Just made them, put some grass in them, and that was it. Um, I was planning on just doing two of them. Um, and I wanted to do them as decorations. One for my house and one for my son's house is what I was thinking. Um, just because I don't know exactly. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to put like one like centerpiece in it. I will have to show you what I got. I got one thing for one of them. Um, and then, hold on. so I decided that I was going to go ahead and do like a decorated like one for like a table setting or something, or just decorations for Easter. And I was just gonna do two of them because I can't really figure out what to do with them or have that much money to get little things. But I was gonna put like a little centerpiece in them. Where's the other? Oh, there it is. So for one of them, I got this little Care Bear set. So of course that's gonna be the one at my house. And their little springs. They got the flower. See, Funshine Bears holding the flowers, and Friendship Bears holding the water to water the water can to hold the water or to water the flowers. And I was gonna open this, of course, and put them like kind of in the center. And then and that's for mine, but I need something else to put in the other one as like a centerpiece. That, because what I figured is I want to do something that you put things in, but then use them after, take them out and use them either as Easter decorations every year or just for around the house or something, springtime or whatever, but not have to worry about the egg because it's going to get destroyed during the year, even if you put it in a storage container or whatever for till next year. So that's what I kind of wanted to do. So I also got these little chocolate flowers that I don't know how, I haven't opened them to see how they come out. But I thought they were going to, you can pull because they're chocolate. So you got to be able to take them out of the little bouquet thingy, right? So, because I was going to just stick a couple of these in the grass, on each one of them or something. So then they don't, the whole bouquet isn't in one. But, I mean, I also could do that, especially if I'm going to do it at for my son's house. Then I can, put this whole thing in there and then they can eat the candy together. I don't know. But, and then so far all I got is like little plastic eggs that I thought either I would like kind of decorate a little bit or put something in them and just have a few of them around there. That's my ideas anyway. So we'll see how that goes. I'll probably have you guys with me when I'm making them. I did get some grass for them, but see, I don't even know what colors to use for the yarn. I got some yellow. I got some of this yellow that was given to me for bright colors because I want to do bright colors, of course, because spring and all that stuff. But so far, I haven't, gone to the typical Walmart or Hobby Lobby yet. But I figured, like the other places I've been to, like have purple and stuff, but they're like a dark, regular purple and reds and stuff. And I want it to be a little bit lighter, a little bit more spring or like neon type thing. You know what I mean? So I'm going to look at those. I have to wait again for another payday though. So that's going to, because unfortunately I can't just run out and just get everything all together. And so that's why a lot of times I have to plan ahead so that I can be able to do them. Because if I want to do them, then yeah, usually I have to get a month or two ahead of time so I can start getting this stuff little by little. So I'm not just out there, spending hundreds of dollars, even though it might cost me about $100 altogether. Um, I don't have to like go out and spend it all and try to find everything at once. Plus, it kind of makes me feel like I haven't spent that much money on them because I'm spending just a little bit at a time. So that's the way I get through that anyway. Um, well, I sort of wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about, I don't know, I'm having some troubles, personal troubles, with this whole new concept I learned called boundaries. Um, but I don't know if I can really get into that much because we've talked quite a bit already. Um, but it was just, I'm not understanding them very well. Supposedly everybody's got boundaries, and they let people know what those boundaries are, and other people, they respect other people's boundaries, and I'm not getting that. So I've never had boundaries. Um, I basically used to do everything everybody asked me to do. And as long as I was making them happy, it didn't matter how it affected me. So, and the couple of times I decided to try to set a couple boundaries, I've been, I don't know if you want to say shot down or not, but basically made me feel like I didn't have a right to set that boundary, or that's a silly boundary or something. So I'm really struggling with this. So maybe I don't know if anybody has any like opinions, because all I'm getting from group and therapy and all that stuff is just that there's healthy boundaries, and then there's not healthy boundaries, and just need to talk to people, and you should maybe talk to them this way or whatever, stuff like that, and just stick with it. And I don't know, I'm just at the point like, why even anymore? um I think, I don't know, I don't see any sense into it, and I'm almost like, we had group today, and I almost felt like just quitting, because I don't need this. I feel like I don't need the boundaries. I don't need to learn about them. Um, so it just, I don't know. It's just kind of driving me nuts. Um, like I said, maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder about myself. Um, and so, yeah. And, I know I'm supposed to be getting better. I'm supposed to be getting healthier. And, I guess in a way I feel like, okay, I'm better, I'm done, we're good, I can move on now. Um, but technically, that isn't the way it goes, and I'm probably not. I may be better, but I'm not at 100% yet. And I'm not saying I have to be a perfect person or anything. It's just there's still a lot that I could work on, as far as, like maybe um, expressing my feelings a little bit more. I could still work on more of that. Um, um, Communication, um, not, being afraid of certain things. Even my self esteem, I probably could still work on a little bit. I don't know. I think everybody finds faults in themselves and don't believe that they're what they want to be. As far as my self esteem goes. So when I sit here and say that I don't like the way I look, or I feel ugly, or I'm fat, or whatever, um, that's kind of normal, wouldn't you say? I mean, so why should I have to totally change that? Okay, I'm saying now, I'm saying I'm okay person, but I would like to be, a little skinnier, or change the way I look a little bit, or something like that. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Doesn't mean that, like before, I was totally not really obsessed with it, but I was, I wasn't happy with my looks. Um, I was always too fat. I was no good. So you know, I was sitting there not eating. I was, not taking care of myself, and all that stuff, and running around. I mean, so, and it's not like that anymore. I'm just still not happy with myself, but I'm okay with myself. So I mean, and I don't think really anybody's too happy with themselves. I mean, there are people out there, yeah, they're very comfortable in their skin. They're very comfortable with the person they are, and that's great, but I don't think everybody has to be that way, do they? I don't know. Anyway, that's just kind of, I guess, my train of thought today, that that I feel that I don't need any help anymore, that I don't need to be on antidepressants, that I don't need anything anymore. I am perfectly fine. And I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm feeling today. Um, so I don't know. You see, sometimes I'll go back and forth. I'll drive you guys crazy. Tell you what, I'm cuckoo, local. Um, so like I was sitting there, have learned that, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but that keyboards are the typewriters. The first things I guess you could say probably that people typed on used to actually be, ABCs, A B C D F G, all in order on the keyboard. Um, and they learned that people were typing too fast. It was going too fast. I don't know, and jamming up keys and stuff like that, having difficulties. So they decide to solve this by randomly moving the letters on the keyboard, um, to hopefully solve, make people like slow down on their typing and prevent key jamming. Now, I'm not sure back then. I didn't look up what year it was or anything like that that they decided to do that. Um, it may have slowed people down, but I don't know if you could really say that nowadays because we have so many typing classes and all that stuff that teach you how to type faster using your home keys. Um, so I don't know if we're back to if it was just typing just as fast. See, and this is sometimes I wish I would sit there and like read the question and say, okay, what kind of questions would I have about this? So like because I should go back and find out what how fast they were typing, what year they changed this at, um, and I guess maybe that's something, it may be something that, me just giving you a fact like this, maybe then that will get you thinking and you start searching up things and that could be something good, I guess. Um, Instead of giving you all the information, letting you do some, hey, this is interesting, I'd like to know more about it. I know a lot of times I'm that way. So that's why I'm sitting here, oh man, I should have known this, should have found that out, because I need more input, as Johnny Five used to say, more input, right? So I also learned that we are born with two natural fears, and they're fear of falling and the fear of loud noises, loud sounds. Um, Otherwise, the rest are just, your fear or phobia or kind of life learning, I guess, things. I don't know the word used, what I can use, but they become something. But and another thing that I should have researched more. I mean, because does that mean because I don't. I may be afraid kind of falling. Um, I mean, everybody's afraid of falling, but it doesn't make me afraid of heights or anything. In a way, my biggest thing with heights is I um, I automatically picture myself falling, and the way I look, at the end, just so then I like freak out because it's not really the fear of fall, it's fear of the end of the fall. I guess you could say that I just don't. It's disgusting, and I don't want to be there. So, and I'm not afraid of loud noises. Um, I mean, maybe as a baby, might be, I guess, but I definitely ain't. So I don't know if it's something that, yeah, you're born with these two things as a baby or even a toddler, but as you get older, they go away. Um, just like, because it didn't, well, yeah, it does say we're born We are born with two natural fears. So I guess that means you can definitely lose them. Um, it's weird. Maybe that's why, but I don't know. See? Now I want more information. Because how would a baby be afraid of falling? What would go on in their head? I mean, like, is that why they cry sometimes when you're holding them? No. I mean, is that one more effective when they start getting a little bit older and crawling and walking? I'm curious. See, that's kind of stuff that, and drives me nuts. And I'm not going to probably look it up because I think it's just kind of ridiculous to even care about that stuff sometimes. But sometimes my head just goes wacko. And like, I mean, like, it really matters what the baby. I don't know. It's, I don't know. But so there's some food for thought for you guys because that's really got me going now, both of those facts. So on that note, we'll end this week and be back in a couple weeks, um, and have some more fun stuff and have fun with, hopefully. Um, you guys get me, sometimes, as we've learned, sometimes I'm not in the best of moods when I come and do this. I try to do it. That's why sometimes I think it comes out a little later or whatever, because I try to do it when I've got the most energy and the best of moods, and not just come on here and be like, yeah, this is what we're, in one of those, or be like I was, even though that was a good example of what I could be like, and I wanted to share that with you. Um, so And if you haven't seen that, then definitely go back and look at my episode of a bad day. I think is what I called it. Um, so yeah. So for now, just remember to love one another and care for one another. And we'll see you soon. Bye.